Hey gang, it's Jeff from the James Freddy's channel. Remember in the last video I was talking about this is one of the most pristine, beautiful bodies one could ever hope to work on? Look at all those lows. What the heck's going on here? No, just kidding. That isn't something that couldn't just be filled with a little bit of high build primer. You see, now I don't know about you, but when I put my Slick Sand high build primer on, I take one of these guns, these rocker shits guns with the big tip like there, and I'm just like, of course this is the quality of my Bodywork, but I'm just like, I gotta get that stuff on there. I need at least 17 coats, you know. I gotta be able to block that stuff out. Here's the next repair on the car. The Wheelhouse flanges in the quarter panel were rolled over to accommodate a larger tire, but when that was done they were rolled over all the way down to the bottom, which that's unnecessary for that. Generally the only place you need to roll over a Wheelhouse for a larger tire is the top here. Let's take a closer look. Go into focus, but we're going to straighten the flange out to about here all the way down and bring it back to the 90 that it would have been from the factory. Let's take a look at the other side now. Here we are on the other side of the car, and it's a little bit backlit, but you can see we've gone ahead and straightened out the flange. And then down there close to the bottom there's going to be a little weld repair to do, because it looks like they tried to weld it, but that factory brass jig tack was there, and that just blows up any MIG weld. But I think it looks a lot better this way. Hey, now this here is a bent over like flange type tool that I bought for taking belt moldings off modern cars, but it turns out you don't really need that for taking belt moldings off. You can just take those off with your hands, so I went ahead and figured we'll just go through here and start straightening this lip up. So, just a little shaky cam walk around of what's going on with the car. We got those flanges out. We know we're going to do a little section repair where the weld was bad and the metal's thin. Bodywork on the deck lid where we welded up our holes is done. We're keeping this one rough. The owners told me not to make this into a show car. The lower little patch we did is all body worked, and then on this side, I don't know if you remember, there was some rust showing through on the primer, and there was some Bondo spread 25 years ago that never got blocked out. And I started blocking it, but that thing was hard as a rock, so I just dug it out. The metal work wasn't too bad. There was a small little pinhole, but I figured I was putting short strand fiberglass on it anyway, so I just left it. Little teaser as to what's happening with the future of this car. We're considering doing some custom fit bumpers and a custom firewall for this. So I threw this bent up original bumper on the car just to kind of play around and get some ideas with it, but we plan on doing a little modifications to the taillight panel, the quarters, and then the bumper to make the two bumpers, the front and rear, have a more similar appearance and to tuck things in tighter. Not a show car, a track car, but with a little bit of custom work. So we'll plan on doing a little bit of dent pulling right there on that louver area of the quarter panel and just continue on. Now let's get after this repair. Not exactly a fun repair to do, but something I think is going to be necessary. This is where the factory quarter panel meets the rocker in the wheel well, and from the factory there's a brass jig tack put in there, and it appears that it's been welded on with a MIG welder out here to kind of help it along, but whenever you MIG weld and you come into connection with or contact with brass, it just blows completely apart, and it's left this flange just completely beat up. So we're going to do that on both sides and get after it. That way we can finish out our little flange repair that we're doing. Hatch is cut and cleaned up. I go ahead and left it a little bit large to the inside so that once I'm done welding I can kind of custom grind it to match the contour or what I want. I left it a little bit away from the spot weld up here so that I could peel that metal back a little bit and clean up in there before welding it into place. And then when the factory did their brass tack here, it kind of ran down between the two layers here, so going down low will allow me to get some of that metal out and really clean all that brass away from the metal. Alright, there's the finished patch out, and I went ahead and ground it with a little bit of 50 grit, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little short strand fiberglass in this. Not a great spot because rocks are going to get kicked up by the tires and want to chip out, but I'm not going to make it perfectly straight. All I'm going to do is trying to get rid of some of the fact that it's been hammered over and then bent back into shape. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now the little wheelhouse flange repairs are done, and the left side of the lower I'm going to go ahead and call it right there on this video because we got a couple of custom modifications that are going to happen to this car, and we don't have the materials yet to do them. So we can stop it there and then maybe jump up to the floor rust patches that we're going to take care of. So hope you liked it. Thanks for